Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer, SEO. Check him out over on YouTube and all of that good stuff. Also, do check out Niche Website Builders. The link is below if you want a done-for-you affiliate website. Then those guys can help you massively with that. You can even get them to do bits of it that you hate, such as the content, or you can get them to do the whole fucking lot if you're a lazy bandit like me. So we all lazy bandits.
Everybody, yeah, there's certain things. Everybody's lazy in certain areas.
So they can do the whole lot for you is the point. So check out the link below, see what they've got to offer. But Chris, I had a conversation in my mastermind today with that Mr. Joe Marichich Loudegg. That's that guy there. I think he might be in your group as well. Joe was talking about AI content and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Are you goofing around with this now? OpenAI, are you cranking it out, seeing good results?
I like well, not just by itself, but I think, I like OpenAI.
My question to you is, obviously there's a lot of people talking about it over the last couple of days, and people have been showing you what they've been putting in and the output from it. Are you putting that shit straight onto your website, or are you still editing, quillbotting, or whatever part of your formula goes on in the background there? I take it you're still tweaking it and stuff.
There has to be a tweak. Yeah. Like I put up just even on my own personal, I made one for Black Hat SEO techniques and didn't touch it. I just literally did it, structured the headers, threw it up, zero editing, and it hit 89. So, then I did the same exact thing, but then I went in there and actually changed everything and it hit page 1. So, and it's all SEO terms and it's on my own site. I understand, but yeah, you have to change it. I change almost, at least one word in every sentence. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And the density still has to be right. The headers have to be right. There's still a lot of work there. I mean, it gets you the brunt of it if you hate writing like me. But there's still a lot of work there.
Yeah. No, I was just curious if you were just shitting it out straight from OpenAI right onto the website, or there was something in between.
Yeah, you got to poop it out. But the in between for us, like ideally for us, is utilizing a tool called Raikou. So with Raikou, what you can do is you can develop your own models. So generally, let's say we're doing an affiliate offer for farm animals. So we'll go to the top 10 rankers, usually take the top 3, take their content, put it in there, and like almost create our own little model from the content that's currently performing. And then we'll have it auto-generate the content. That's what we do. And then once it spits out, then we're just looking at, overall prominence of keywords, densities, and then optimizing the headers. That's the true process. Yeah.
What about AI Content Labs? Because AI Content Labs and Raikou were the two things that Joe was talking about. Do you use AI Content Labs?
AI Content Labs, no, never really utilized that. But Raikou and OpenAI plus Page Optimizer Pro equals top performing pages.
I need to check out. I either need to check out AI Content Labs or this Raikou. How do you say this? How do you spell this? R-Y?
R-I-K-I, I think. R-I-K-I, I think is what. R-I-K-U, sorry.
Raikou. I'll check that out.
Raikou.ai. Yep.
Raikou. Tool. Have to check that shit out.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan. By the way, Ryan, that's not even a joke. Someone doing an AI editing content service would be a fucking good job. Someone could be able to shit that out all day long. Chris, that's a good model, right? Just AI content editing service. AI optimization service.
Yeah, but I mean, what would you be charging on 100 words or 1,000 words? you know, I think just the full. Most people want the whole kit and caboodle. I found. I don't know. Maybe they would want that. Why not? What I like is maybe a rewriting service. That's what I'm thinking about offering. Rewrites.
Rewrites.
Yep.
Content billing.
He's a good guy.
People are making so much money creating AI art, but selling as their own work. Not mentioning it was created by AI. Yeah, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
You've got to fake it till you make it. Like.
They're just like cranking them out. If some, you know, that's actually funny if you think about it. It's like throw them up. Like
that fucking Mozart painting was me. Massive insult to guys like Joe, who is an actual artist, or I think you are anyway, Joe. AI input engineers.
There you go.
But questions, guys, put your questions in a live chat. We're here to answer as many questions you've got. Don't just listen to us as background noise. We need question. So put them all there. We will answer as many as you can. Please give us a like on the video as well, and all that good stuff. But we have a question from Mr. Durrani. Are you using POP over every other optimization tool? And have they improved their UI yet?
So for personal, I like to do my own math, right? For personal projects. However, with that being said, for client side, because they like to see the editor, they like scores, right? Plus it gives you a lot of other functionalities like the EAT metrics, the schema, the alts, the headers, right? So for client work, I love POP. As far as the UI is concerned, you know, the content editor is primarily what the girls use. They like it. I like it. I think it's a good tool. I think the math is good. Yeah, I mean, it could be faster and prettier, but can't win them all. You know.
I've also got to say I've used Page Optimizer Pro for probably about 5 years now. It's more of a habit than anything. I met Kyle when he was just making the tool out in Chiang Mai, and have used it ever since. So I've never really bothered with many of the others. I do have a look at Suffer. I've got a Suffer account, but POP just through habit is my preferred choice.
And cost to output, like Surfer's cool, but dude, at the end of the day, even in bulk, it's like what, $75 a page for the content editor?
Yeah,
it's not scalable, dude. It's just too much per page. It's obscene. When Page Optimizer Pro, like you can just crank with that baby in agency. You know what I mean? When you got a site that's 2,500 pages, I gotta pay 75 cents a whack, and that's only one site. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just not. Screw that.
Palmer doesn't like digging into them pockets. So
yes.
Here we go. Mr. Mario Zek, the hair and nail guy. I'll tell you a funny story about this one. So Joe is an artist, and AI art pisses him off, but he's still got mid-journey. But anyway, so me and Joe were having this conversation, and there's also a famous artist called Craig Campbell. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist as well, dude. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, go check my shit. And he's like, dude, that's good stuff. And I'm like, really? And then I told him it wasn't me. And then he's like, yeah, it's not that good. But there was also Rich Devman's like, dude, I want to buy one of your pieces. And I'm like, dude, I'm only fucking with you. He's like, shit. But yeah, I was just fucking with Joe and pretending I was an artist. I was going to fire out some AI art and pass it off as my own. That would be fun, though. Imagine you bought some of my art, Joe, and it was some mid-journey job. That would be funny. AI YouTube thumbnails, Chris. You ever use something like that?
No, but that sounds interesting. That would save time. I create those myself, which can be relatively, depending on, that takes a lot of time sometimes. It depends on how I feel for the day,
So you're creating that physically yourself? You've not got a VA doing that shit?
No, I make those myself.
I kind of guessed
Every
that.
day.
With them. I'm only kidding.
No, I've tried early on. I tried somebody, like, I went on like Fiverr, I think, and I had a girl crank them out. But like, I don't know what the title, like, I don't know. If I knew what 100 videos were going to be, and I knew exactly the 100 titles and exactly what to put on the 100, then I could probably get it outsourced. But I never know. The video is based upon what the questions are and what I'm working on at the present moment. You know, like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, this works good. I used to like make a board and write them all down, but it's just whatever the questions are, whatever I feel at that day, you know.
Yeah. Whatever's new. But I think OpenAI prompts is a good video, Chris. What prompts you can put into OpenAI.
Yep. And there's a gentleman out there that sells the prompts, because I think that's, once you master what to ask, that's when you start producing very high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a dude selling like prompts?
There is a dude selling. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't recall his name, but he sells exactly that. Like, that's what he's selling.
Just because I've been screenshotting shit, like when I'm flicking through Twitter and stuff, I see obviously clever guys on there, and I've been screenshotting a few. But a guy basically, don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but basically put in there, list all the articles my site would need to totally cover the topic of skateboarding, and it fucking lists it all out for you, dude. Like, it's basically giving you your fucking content strategy on a fucking plate.
There it is. There you go.
So what you can do is just do niche research, whack it in there, and pass it off as your own. So there you go.
Whack it off as your own.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on a roll today.
Yeah, I'll tell you another one in a minute. I've got another funny story. I'll tell you it right now. So you know that guy Peter Van de Graaf, right?
Yeah.
The bald Dutch guy, right? So I'm on with Niche Website Builders yesterday, and Eleanor from Niche Website Builders was talking about age domains and all that shit, and her process for finding good age domain names. And Peter just comes into the chat along the bottom. I've just released a video on it and just says, "Are you selling toxic domain names?" But I know exactly why he's asking. But it was fucking hilarious, dude. He just said, "Are you selling toxic domain names?" She's Niche Website Builders in a positive light, and he's in there fucking asking if she's getting any toxic domains for him. He's a funny guy, but hey, you had to be there. Mario's waiting for AI to generate him a nice hand and nails image without having 6 fingers and stuff. Would that actually happen? Like, is AI chucking out like 6 fingers and shit like that? Surely not. Come on, man. But here's a question for you, Chris. Does Google count the link in an iframe?
I think it's counted as a link, yes.
And does it pass link juice?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to disagree with you and say I've done single variable testing and it does not pass a single bit.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm kidding on. I just wanted to see your face with a bit of controversy, but he clearly doesn't give a fuck. But yeah, no, I would probably agree with Chris on that front, honey. But the only way to do it is test it out. But I'm sure there's something passed along the way. Simon Hogbin, good to see you.
From sunny Yorkshire.
Yeah, and we know it ain't sunny down there. So Sean Greenwood has joined the mastermind. Sorry, Chris, love your stuff too. Been watching Zoom replays, came across Madge. Where can I find his services? The famous Madge is, you can find Madge at magicpr.com. So yeah, you'll be able to find, he's normally in all the kind of live chats as well, but shoot him a message in the WhatsApp group just tag him. You'll find his number in there somewhere. Tag him and just say, dude, but it's magicpr.com. Great guy, offers great stuff. So good to see you in there, Sean, and hopefully you can jump in on some of the lives. Live F1 fan. AI live deep fake so I can pretend that I'm Craig Campbell SEO. I done so all of these AI image ones that people are putting out in the last couple of days, because every motherfucker seems to have a new tool. What is that one that they're using? Because I tried one about 2 months ago, and the AI of me, I basically had to put in 20 images of me, and then it spat out a whole bunch of me, but it was awful looking. It was real bad. But I seen Ryan Durrani and I seen a few other guys doing stuff. But I'm not sure if it's a new app or a new tool. But what are you guys all using for images?
That Loomis or Lumio. I saw Devin was put it on his.
I think Ryan's using that one.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it?
Like Lumia or something like that.
Yeah. That's the one Durrani's using, but I'm not sure if everyone's using that. But yeah, I'm going to have to play around with it
like
again.
The other ones where you could put like one picture in, like they haven't gotten down the voice per piece yet though. Like the ones that can do it cost a lot. Like you could take like say Neil Patel's picture and put it in there and make it talk. And then they have the ones, but you have to pay. I think it's like $5 a video, and you could take a voice clip, and then it'll make the voice perfect too. It's crazy, dude.
Jeez, that's scary. Yeah. Midjourney is the best AI image tool. Wait a minute, is OpenAI not get some image thing going on as well? I'm pretty sure I was doing one yesterday. Nah, they haven't. No, they have.
AI art generator, huh?
Yeah, that DALL-E, that was it.
Yeah, DALL-E.
DALL-E. I was fucking around with that yesterday, but I was just putting in some keywords and stuff like SEO. I can't remember what it was, and something else, and it. I can't remember. SEO in the clouds. Don't ask me why I done that, but there was literally an SEO guy standing there. It said SEO, and he was standing in the clouds, and so that was interesting. Joe Marriott just saying stable diffusion on your own server for AI images. Not used that. And OpenAI has DALL-E. But guys, give us questions. We don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. No, because I've been playing around with it for a few days. Literally, I was throwing in insults about people and stuff as well into OpenAI just to see what it would churn out, and it was pretty good. It also tells you jokes and shit as well. So yeah, I need to find a guy that is selling the prompts. So I'm going to put a wee notepad in there. Sean Greenwood is from Leeds, and it's freezing. It's also freezing up here, guys. So yeah, it's pretty rough over here. Chris, what's the weather like over where you are? Good, bad?
Cold. Tamaqua, PA temp today is 52 degrees. Precipitation 15. Very high humidity today as well.
That's literally like freezing here. So
it's chilly.
Anyway,
what do you think about Flippa?
Flippa. I mean, you just have to do some real due diligence on there. I think there's some good gems on there, but I think Flippa, because the barrier to entry is a lot less than any other marketplace, I think there is a lot of dog shit on there.
Crap.
I am bringing out something not quite Empire Flippers, but better than Flippa in a couple of months. I've always been interested in creating a marketplace because I just think the barrier to entry on Flippa, rather than Flippa themselves, I just think there's a lot of bullshitters on there. Fake shit, fake metrics, everything's all dodgy, and there's no one there really checking. And I think if you're naive and inexperienced, you'll basically get your pants pulled down very, very quickly on there. So
get your pants pulled down.
I don't want to be derogatory towards Flipper, because running a marketplace,
right,
not really their fault. You know, they've given the platform, the branding, and stuff like that. So it's not really their fault, but I think they could
do better due diligence.
Yeah, because nine out of 10 people who go to Empire Flippers don't get their website listed because they're bullshitting. There's something somewhere. Like if you propped up your website with some bullshit AI content and some PBNs, they ain't going to list your piece of shit on there. They know what you're up to. You know, they're experienced. So 9 out of 10 do not get listed on there. So I think, but there's nowhere in between. I want to try and be that guy in between. So
in between makes sense.
And just get a team who do due diligence properly and what to look for. And I think that's a good potential business plan. So that's the plan for me. Anyway, Loud Egg, Mr. Joe Marichich. For product schema, do you guys write fake reviews on the product page, then duplicate it in schema?
No, I don't. I don't know about affiliate. How about on your end of the bus? Locally, no, I don't generally do that.
I need to be careful what I say. Have I ever done fake reviews? Yes. I mean, it's not something I go out my way to do anymore. Have I done stuff like that in the past? Yes. If I'm goofing around, but nah, just what's the point? You know, a review's a review, and obviously you can get fake reviews to stick and all that kind of stuff. It helps click-through rate. You know, if you're doing affiliate, I'm very much a guy, fake it till you make it and all that kind of stuff. So I would be lying if I said, no, I've never done that. And, you know, I've probably told more lies than anyone, you know, blagging it. You know, I've been in SEO now for 20 years, but I think even at the start, I was telling people I was in it for 20 years. That's the fucking thing. So it's one of those ones where you've got to do what you've got to do to put meat on the table. Why not? Loud Egg is the best I'm going to say. I don't care about what pussies think. Why not? Why the fuck wouldn't you? It's going to help. So, Thomas Trains, Toys and More. Is it worth creating a tier 2 page on WordPress and have daily AI blog post pointing to my money website? So would you do something like that, Chris? Not necessarily in WordPress, but even Medium or some other Web 2.0s. Would you do that and you know, blast the shit out of it with some AI content and link it into your money site?
So yes, but I mean, as far as like keeping it updated, I mean, that becomes very time consuming. So I think once we set up the initial Web 2.0 as a tier and we create the initial 10 pages and we whack it with, I don't know what you would prop that up with. I don't really ever go back and mess with it unless I start seeing a lot of the sites falling off in Ahrefs or SEMrush. You know, the only way I'm going to go back in there and ever mess with it is if I lose the link, then we'll go back in there and, you know, either recreate it or freshen up the site. But no, I'm not consistently going in there. If I'm going to create content or spend time or allocate money towards something, it's going to be to produce for the actual site. Those assets are so devalued. You know, other than for brand and the initial links, I don't mess with it. Not on those types of properties. But if you want to do WordPress and keep that updated, you're essentially asking, should I create myself a mini PBN? And the answer is, for me at least, is yes. It's very, very helpful. Why wouldn't you? If you have the budget and you have the time or the manpower, it's very, very helpful to control that tier 1.
Here's the fucking thing, though, Chris. A question for you, because Randy, who's a mutual friend of ours, you know, you've got tools like Article Forge, where you can create articles and then publish them onto WordPress automatically.
For sure.
Do you think someone like that very quickly could tap into OpenAI's API and make this whole fucking thing seamless and fucking automated? Because that would be shit hot.
1,000,000,000%. That's why I switched to SEO Content Machine, because they do offer that capability.
Right. Interesting. There you go. Peter Van de Grass here. We'll come to you, Peter, in a minute. I'm noticing more and more YouTube channels starting to use AI to help them create scripts for content, but then making a few changes to make it their own. And people saw the AI channels and I thought, if I can't beat them, join them. You ever do any kind of AI shit on YouTube, Chris? Played around with it, tested it?
I mean, no, the only thing I'm exploring is I do like that the AI tools are quickly deciphering the text and then adding it and creating like those like slide videos. Like I see these, there's quite a few channels that are doing that, and the videos come out really nice. They're easy to make, they're cheap to make, they're fast. I'm going to start exploring that some more, but I just haven't found a tool that at scale, like if I need to produce, say, 1,000 a month, I'm looking for one that's cheap, inexpensive, and fast.
Yeah.
Like that Animoto is pretty cool, but for scale, is it? Not really. Have you found any tools that do that quickly and cheaply?
Live, not for me, I don't, but he might have. Have you found something like that, live F1 fan? Let us know.
Yes.
Because he is a YouTube enthusiast, so he may have found something that you've not tapped into, Chris. But sadly for me, I only really do my own YouTube channel. I don't do any kind of mad videos or mass video production or anything like that. Just the usual SEO garbage on here. But Sean, what type of level of competition do you consider impossible to rank? Or do you not consider anything impossible? If so, in that case, is it just time and patience? Anything's possible, Sean, but you need to be realistic. Do you have the budget? Do you have the time? And all that kind of stuff. If the right budget and everything else is in place, then I don't really think I would be too scared of attempting to go after anything. But if you say to me, Craig, you've got $5,000 and I want you to go and rank a whole bunch of crypto stuff, you're wasting your fucking time. So, that I think a bit of common sense and sanity is probably it. But Chris, you have the same thought, or do you think you can beat anyone regardless of budget? Or
no, I wouldn't say that. I'm definitely not looking at a keyword difficulty metric. I'm basing the keywords based on what's in the SERP. And then not only is what's currently being rewarded by Google in the top positions, like if it's Walmart and Best Buy and all these, places, or Yelp's like, it's directory. I'm like, I'll move on. But with that being said, also too, how long have they been there? Like if I'm seeing a big fluctuation of sites changing, then maybe we might target it. But I don't care about, I'm in a niche now where like the keyword difficulties in the 90s. It's in the 80s, actually, high 80s. So I don't think that matters. I think it's who's currently actually there and how long have they been there. I don't care about difficulty of keyword, but budget, that's a 90% of the factor kind of a thing, because budget ties into how many eyeballs and how much manpower can I put on that, like how many links, how much time, how much budget plays a big part.
The niche that you're currently operating in, obviously the keyword 80 or 90 difficulty, I think I've got a rough idea of what niche you're talking about. If someone had $500 a month, are they ever able to even come close to competing?
Not even a chance. No.
No. So
you need probably about 25 month one to get everything set up. and then anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a month.
And that's your cost price, right? That's not what you would pay an agency. So if someone
that's not what you pay an agency. No, that's like homie price. Yeah.
So yeah, it's nothing is impossible though. Talking about nothing's impossible, Mr. Peter Van de Graaf, he wants to talk about toxic domains. How would you use toxic domains in your SEO strategy, if at all, Chris? Would you point them at the competition? Would you?
So
can you use them?
I've definitely met a few friends over time that have utilized stuff that they knew wasn't definitely on the up and up and that caused problems on other sites when they were testing. So, I've seen that before in order to cause a shakeup in particular SERPs. And also as far as toxic, I like the toxic. I've been seeing a lot of this lately in a particular space. Toxic news is very effective. Very, very effective. Yes. So not that I would ever do that, but I've definitely seen it utilized in that fashion.
No, purely for educational purposes, that question was asked.
For sure.
Of course.
And that's a nice dog, too. You see that
Peter's
pup he's
dog.
got there? The little nose.
It's too cute to be with a guy like Peter.
I know. What the heck?
Yeah. Give
Peter's
it back
the best poker player ever, too.
Mario, the hair and nail guy. Success of image depends on input. Could be problem with yours. Sean, Chris, how do you establish how long a site has been at a certain rank? So you mentioned their competition, how long that guy's been ranking for. How can you reverse engineer that?
To 99.9% of the time, if we get a client, that's one of the first questions. Who's currently in the SERP and how long have they been there? Like if oh man, these guys have been ranking here for the last 2 years, I'm going to say, all right, let's pick a variation. Yeah. That's generally what I'll use for the gauge. I believe, can't you check too? And isn't there tools that do that too? I don't ever use the tools, but I would assume that somebody has a tool on that.
I'm not sure if there's a tool. If you're asking me how long has someone been in position 1 for a particular keyword, I'm not sure it goes that deep. Of course, you can use your Ahrefs or SEMrush to see generically how long someone's had a website that's been performing reasonably well, and for what kind of set of keywords they're going for. But I'm not sure it goes any more granular than that. Not that I'm aware of, but I might be wrong. But yeah, let us know if you know the answer to that. Sean is also asking, so Chris, like any competitive niche, there's always going to be heavy lifting up front. You mentioned 25K. What would that consist of, just generically? Because obviously the niche you're in, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is competitive. I'm going to make the assumption that in month 1 you have to start out with a website that had little to no content. The build and all that. So what was that 25K? What did it look like?
Yeah, the build, but think of when we're talking about a build that has 2,700 areas, right? And then there's sub areas. We're talking about thousands of pages for a build. Then you have to think about internal linking, the mapping, the schema for every single page, all of the images, right? Creating the Airtable so we can easily change and edit things, right? So I think there's a lot to the build, a lot of time and effort. So that's a big chunk. Creating and mass production of content, that's a chunk. The initial subset of links, so tier 1, that's a chunk. And then creating that tier 1 is also going to be assets that we control. So those are anywhere between $100 and $250 each.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much, the initial build, the content, and the tier 1.
Let me ask you this. could you spend 50 on the same fucking thing? You know, if they,
Could've.
you know, surely you could have spent more on that, because obviously you're scrimping and scraping. There's only so much you can do for 25 in terms of if you're building out your own assets. Let's say you're paying $250 for a domain name, then another $100 to get it built, some content thrown on there. You're very quickly.
It was 50 just for the initial site too. Sorry. 50 just for the name. From the rip
50
was 50. Yeah. Just from the door, it was 50 for the exact match.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. What, you paid 50 for a domain, or
client paid 50 for
yeah,
the domain. Yeah, no, maybe, no.
I know he's crazy. I know that you don't like spending big money on big things, even though you're probably loaded. But 50 grand for a domain is a lot of fucking money, man.
Well, yeah, but think in less than a year, so it was worth it, I think. No,
listen, why not?
I'm very proud of that group. Yeah. Sorry.
People in my mastermind know what niche I operate in. I dropped 25 on a domain name just to have the exact match. So I get it. Why wouldn't you spend 50, especially in the market that you're playing in? It's cheap in terms of the overall turnover and market share and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. But hopefully that helps you, Sean. So Peter is currently on all in on AI content creation, AI video creation, including indistinguishable voiceover is already possible, just not on open AI architecture. Google TPUs are much better, or Raiku, or something else. But yeah, not just an open AI architecture. I think you have to use is it wrapper that they're called, like Raiku and AI Content Labs? Is that a wrapper? That's
I would
called.
consider that a wrapper. Yeah.
So yeah, the wrappers are important, I think, to be able to work that shit out. Do you still use CTR Booster for YouTube? Do you use it, Chris? I certainly don't at the moment.
I've never utilized CTR Booster ever.
CTR Booster, I need to get back to it. I had to uninstall it from my virtual computer last night, and I'm going to reinstall it again. I think I had a dated version on it that was a bit funky, but I am going to be messing around with it on some knowledge panel stuff. But I think it's a great tool as long as you're using your 4G proxies. Would I use it for YouTube? I would rather just use followers, some paid ads, micro workers, and shit like that for YouTube. But that's just my opinion. CBD Flowers, UK. I know who you are now, CBD fucking Flowers. You have just given yourself away. Man, I knew. So CBD Flowers has been on here for a while. Obviously disappeared for a while, but I know exactly who uses that type of banter. So you've been rumbled. But double dipping links, and does Chris do it?
What's a double dip mean?
They're just making that part up. Double dipping links. So these particular people laugh. You know, like Brad and Mike talk about edging your links, or other people coin all these different kind of terms.
Yes.
They're just coining a crazy, obscene term. Is what they're doing. So,
good old double dippers.
Yeah. So YouTube has already announced they're planning to get rid of YouTube thumbnails soon. They want to have their own AI-generated thumbnails for some videos. saves us any trouble.
Saves me a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, YouTube. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that would be
You want
cool.
to do that part? That's cool.
Like, no more thumbnails. They're all uniform. They're all the same. You know, I don't know if I don't know if they would do that, but maybe.
Do you think AI authors will eventually watermark their AI? So someone was talking about that in our group chat. I don't know if it was actually you, Joe. I seen someone send a message about that, but I'm not sure. I mean, yeah. With listen, I'm not even going to try and guess what's possible and what's not now. You know, but why wouldn't they want to watermark their AI? But then, if they can watermark their AI, then Google will be able to tell what's going on, and yeah, it's mad. Mad. Double dipping like chips. Is double dipping like using SEMrush and Ahrefs? Who knows, Isaac? Who knows? But guys, we still have 19 minutes left, so please do put your questions in the chat. Also, do give us a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And also do check out the niche website builders.
When you're building out affiliate sites, do you utilize the same PBN links or the same guest post links when you're building them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many sites do you generally do in a year? One?
Nah.
2?
More than that. No, maybe 10 a year.
And every single one that, if you're going to do it, do you always start with something? You're not ever starting fresh, right?
Never.
It's already something almost, it's on its way. It's already, when you're looking and classifying, are you primarily looking for anything that's at least a year old and already generating, like on an uptrend? Like no dancing, it's just like this, and they just give up?
Yeah, I mean, well, those ones are harder to find. Like one that I'm getting involved in today, of all days, actually. The deal just came through. It was a company who I'd done some consultancy with 6 to 9 months ago. The company went into administration. Not because of me. The retail arm went into administration. They were just building an online presence and they were doing reasonably well. But obviously the company went into administration, and being able to try and revive that is another project that I've taken on. It was doing well, so it's just a case of throwing back up the website, trying to repurpose what some of the best selling content that was products that were on there and stuff like that, scale it up and then flip it on. So there's always got to be a benefit though, Chris. So you're not always going to be able to grab a website that's got that kind of upward trend, because why the fuck would someone sell it to you if it's already in an upward trend, unless the guy is a complete maniac or desperate for money. So you are looking for someone who's maybe fell out of love with it, or maybe someone who just doesn't do the link building side. They don't understand it and they're kind of stagnating. So these are the kind of opportunities that are out there, or people just get too busy with client work or whatever, and take the foot off the gas. I don't know how many people I know that have a website, it does reasonably well, and then it just kind of fritters away, and dies off. So these are the kind of things I'm looking for, and if I can grab that, do what I need to do to it, and then flip it on, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm not looking for websites that I need to pay millions of pounds for. I'm looking for websites that I can get in, that's got an established track record, it's got some power, it's got some content on it, and then I can do the rest from there, scale it. So I want something that's generating revenue.
So you want something that's guaranteed already generating revenue?
Yeah.
So it has to be producing dollars, and then you're just looking to either change the model or throw gasoline on what's already currently working.
Yeah. And most time it is just throwing content links and boom, it goes.
But the multiples just don't make sense. It's like, well, what it's currently, say it's making a G a month. We'll just say that as a figure, right?
Yep.
Then they're trying to sell them for, 20 bands. And it's like, it's going to take me, if I just let it sit currently, it's going to take me 2 years to get my money back. Like, I don't understand that multiple. So the question for me is there a particular multiple that you feel comfortable with?
So the thing is, Chris, I think you're thinking about it all wrong.
Okay.
I don't really care about the monthly revenue. So let's say I buy a website for 10 grand and it's earning a couple of $100 a month or whatever. That's fine. Now, obviously, you can get 50 times, between 40 and 50 times your monthly profit as a multiple. So I can do that. Now, like you say, you could spend a lot of money on something and it could take you 2.5, 3 years to get your fucking money back.
Right.
It's the resale value of the fucking website that I'm interested in. So if I buy something for 10 and I spend 10 on it and I can get 100 grand, happy days. I want in and out 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is. I want in and out. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 years to get my money back. That's for me the crazy route. Now, yeah, you might want to argue that that's the more solid route. I want to scale and flip and get out of there. That's all I want.
But well, then at that model, that makes sense to me because that's easy. Get it, pump it, right? Money in, money out. But what's the probability? What's the guarantee or the assurance that the property is going to sell? That the asset will actually sell? Guaranteed or?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've never really struggled to sell a website. There's a lot of investors out there that just want to park their money somewhere. So whether they invest 100 grand in your website and that gets them 2 or 3K a month, there's guys out there that are quite fucking happy to do that. It's giving them more money than the banks would. Here's the thing, Chris, right? Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you this. If you had 200 grand today and said to me, Craig, what is the best fucking thing I can invest this 200 grand in? You could argue that you go and buy some more property and you'll get $1,000 a month back for your 200 grand property.
Right.
But you've got a mortgage on that and all that kind of stuff. So you're maybe going to be making $600-700 tops. That's all you're going to get out of that 200 grand investment. If you go to Empire Flippers right now and you find a website, an asset at 200 grand, it's likely to be earning between 5 and 8 grand a month. Why would you not, if you had money, invest in that than in a fucking property? The key is, obviously, we know how to maintain rankings, how to improve rankings and all that kind of stuff. A lot of these investors have teams of guys that do the same fucking thing. So why wouldn't you? Why would you invest 200 grand in something that gives you $1,000 a month when you could buy a website asset that's going to generate 5 times more?
I like both. Yeah. I like, because at the end of the day, a website always goes to zero, almost always.
No, I would argue that it doesn't. So that's Ryan Durrani's kind of thought process. If I look at my own projects, do they go to zero? No, I can. You've seen my analytics before. I've worked on it for 7 or 8 years on one of my main websites. Has it ever went down? No. Absolutely not. If you're churning and burning, yeah, it'll go down. You'll get slapped by an update or whatever. If you do the job properly, invest your money properly, you're not going to go down. Why would you? So that again is not the right mindset. Now, yes, there are websites that will go down after a year or 2 years or whatever because it's been pumped up full of shit. That's not what I would want to do. If I'm investing cold hard cash into something, it's got to be real. And that's why I would always say treat it like a real business.
And do you think that the reason why the multiples are so high is because the amount of people selling is so low?
No. No.
Because once it's commoditized and once more people start cranking them, the price has to go down. Because it seems like the assets are worth so much. But really, if you go in there, how many's listed? 1,000? That's not really a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why we're getting so much for them? Maybe.
Maybe not. I just think there's more people out there with money that want to invest in this stuff than there is websites for them to invest in. So yeah, obviously the price is cranked up, but regardless, I think it's a supply and demand thing. And I think yeah.
No, I like it. It's just, yeah, it's an interesting. It's interesting. I've learned some lessons though. Like I would never, ever buy anything that's tech. No dice. Never buy anything tech related. I'm good on that. Also, too, anything that you don't know anything about, probably steer clear of that too. And anything that is, I've learned quite a few actually. I've learned the hard way. 500 here, grand here. I could definitely tell you what not to do.
I've got a lot of stories like that as well. Joe is asking what your favorite part of SEO is. Is it local? Is it teaching? What is your favorite thing with SEO at the moment?
My favorite part of SEO is that it never ends. There's no ceiling. There's no ceiling on the amount of money you can earn, and there's no ceiling on what's new, what's next, and how do I get there first. That's why I fell in love with SEO. There's never an end. It's like, that's what I like about it personally. It's like never ending. It's like,
What's your thoughts on the Kraken, and can tools from Code Canyon be trusted? Have you guys experimented with them? So 2 different questions. We'll go to the last one first. Code Canyon, can the tools be trusted, Chris?
Code Canyon, tools be trusted. Tools, Code Canyon. Oh, Code Canyon. They sell like scripts and they sell templates. Yeah. That's a marketplace and there is bots and stuff on there. I think that's wildly dependent upon the seller. So it's kind of like we were talking about Flip It. It's a marketplace where dudes they make bots and stuff. They don't have any traffic. They're not, it's a place to sell that type of stuff. But there's some shady, you got to be, I would be mindful. But there's some cool stuff on there for sure. Awesome traffic bots on there. I've bought in templates, bootstrap templates from on there. There's some cool stuff there for sure.
And what about the Kraken?
The Kraken. I don't know what the Kraken is, unfortunately.
I believe that is what Michael Bowe's tool is now called. It used to be called the Viper or something.
The Kraken.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that like some type of like Planet of the Apes or like Lord of the Rings or something? The Kraken. What is that from? That sounds really weird. The Kraken is from what movie? Clash of the Titans. Sorry. The Kraken is from Clash of the Titans.
Have you used the tool?
Never. He won't let me use it. I tried. I messaged that dude to ask and see if he'd let me test it out and see if it worked. And he said, no way, Jose. That was his exact words.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
I think I'm pretty sure Michael's doing a great job over there. He's got people in there who use the tool and does CTR and all of that kind of stuff. So I think I'm not a user of it personally. But I think the guy, for what it's worth, is a smart guy and he's doing good stuff over there. And I've heard of people using it and having success with it. So again, something I would always try. And even if someone says, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Tools are constantly developed. Tools are always being worked on and all that kind of stuff. So I think if someone's telling you that that's a tool to go try it out and find out for yourself. I don't think it's any secret that I don't see eye to eye with the owner. and I'm not in that group, and I don't use it. Have I used this tool previously? Yes. And do I think the guy, is trying to do good stuff? 100%. So I would always try it out and see what happens. So always test, mate. Always test.
That's fair.
So TJ Bowman, when you're doing a 301 redirect on an expired domain, how do you perform the 301? Is it at the registrar level? Are you hosting the website and doing it at URL to URL level, or something different?
Most of the time, I'm not utilizing the 301s, but if I were, I would usually host and then go individual page to page. That's usually what we would do if we're going to utilize that, for sure.
And I think that's because, obviously, if you've got links pointing at those inner pages, TJ, you want to recreate them, get them indexed, and then do the redirects from page level to page level, is my definition of how I would do it, and why I would do it in that way. People who just go in and do it at registrar level, grab a domain name, and just do a 301 redirect, clearly have missed the big important step of rebuilding all the old URLs out to get everything back live and kicking again, and then do the redirect. So I think you're missing a big part out if you're going to do the registrar level thing. Hope that makes sense.
I tested that specific thing too with 8,300 referring domains. Just 301'd it, and it ended up passing 632 or something like that. It's in the testing group. Literally bought it at 8,000 plus referrings. 301 right from GoDaddy, and 600 passed out of 8,000, dude. Yeah, waste. Well, needless to say, we set that up though and took care of that. But no, it was a cool test just to see, because I was curious. I wanted to know, like, how does this work? Exactly how does this work?
Also, is there any alternative to real clicks that is an alternative to micro workers?
I like ads. I like ads. I like Facebook ads. I think ads work significantly well for maps. Sometimes you're going to pay a premium, but if you're running exact in a radius, the volume is so low, but it moves the needle. So for maps, I like ads. For organic, I don't ever really mess around with stuff too much for organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I would say to live F1 fan is, don't always just look for tools. Do not always look for the magic automation. I don't think it's there yet. I know you're a big tool enthusiast, and we all are. I just don't think there is anything great out there other than throwing a bit of money behind it and using some paid ads on YouTube. And yes, on YouTube, I've told people for many years, when I do a video, I go and throw out a Facebook ad to the video to all my followers in India that are interested in SEO, and I get decent traffic for a low budget, and they're all real people who are enthusiastic about SEO. So I think that's a great way. You've got MTurks. Are there any other options? No, not that I'm aware of. That's cheaper and more effective. I don't think there is, man. Micro workers, MTurks. Not.
MTurks is funny though. It's stuff. They have different roles than micro workers, though. Yeah, their roles are a little different.
Yeah. But keep looking. But to my knowledge, there isn't anything else. And believe you me, I have looked high and low and tried many CTR tools out there in order to try and do things. So spent years doing it. So yeah, it's sadly there is no great hidden tool unless Chris is hiding it from me. But
I mean, there's other platforms, but not that big.
Yeah.
Like I think what was I think there's 36,000 users because you can check and see, like you can see the active people. And I think there's 36,000 people on microworkers. MTurk, I don't know. They don't ever like show any of that stuff, but they're really finicky with like running particular types of campaigns.
Mhm.
Like if it's not a test for your property, it's not going to fly over there. So it's just different. That's all.
Yeah. But on that note, guys, Joe says, be careful with shiny objects. And we all have it and they all dive into it, but be careful what you're diving into. That's all I can say because I've wasted so much money on it, as has many others. So, yeah.
For sure.
But on that note, we are out of time, guys. Please do give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Do check out Niche Website Builders up there. The link is below. And also, Mr. Chris Palmer, SEO. You can go to seomastermind.org or just search for Chris Palmer SEO on YouTube. Go and see all of the stuff that he is promoting out there. Ton of tutorials, videos on all things SEO. Way too many videos out there.
No,
and
come on.
Chris, here's a question I've got for you before we go.
Yes.
Because we have a guilty Mr. Joe Marichich. Do you have a WhatsApp chat in your group for your mastermind?
I do.
Are all them fuckers talking about tools all the time in there, throwing all these tools about?
Nah, not all the time. No. They kind of chat amongst each other, really. I really only go in there once a week. So I couldn't tell you what they're talking about currently. I haven't been in there since last week. Usually the day before the meet, I'll pop in there, but they definitely, because the notifications show up, so they're always like talking. Unless they put @Chris, I don't ever see it or message back, unless they're like asking for me.
I've tried to split my group into 2 groups now, so there's general and tool chat, and then there's SEO specific chat, because it just gets too fucking noisy, and you're just like, fuck this. I'm not. You do your work, and then you look at it, and there's like 483 fucking messages, and you're like, oh.
Nice.
But I was just curious if you had that and how you resolved it. You don't have a Discord group or anything like that, do you?
No, I don't do the Discord. The only reason I did the WhatsApp is because the guys liked it from your group, and they're like, "Oh, we would really like this for here." And I'm like, "Craig's doing it? Yeah, all right, let's do it." So I made it.
So no, I was trying to think if they were, using Discord or because obviously on there you could break the conversations out into different topics. So if there's link building shit, you could go in there, but then I think it becomes a bit fragmented. So
busted up. Yeah. No, I like the WhatsApp though, because there is a search.
Yeah.
Like you can search by it is kind of search by topic or anything. If somebody's talking about CTR or a tool or whatever, it's kind of cool. I guess the only way to separate it is if you're going to be talking about something, they could mark it like with a specific keyword. You know what I mean? That way it's searchable, and I don't know. It's up to you.
I'm just curious if you have any ideas, because I'm like, guys, don't, because obviously there's people in there that are tool hungry, and I'm like, guys, come on, we can't just have tool talk, SEO talk, and general shit talk all in the one group, in the one chat. You're just like, fuck, that's crazy.
What do you think the most they talk about when they're talking about tools? What do you think is the big AI?
Not in my group, dude. Well, but you could probably argue that just now. These guys talk about anything, man. Like, I think most SEOs, like, I'm a big tool guy as well. I get it. But, I mean, fucking AppSumo gets flung about every day, and all the fucking AppSumo stuff. And I'm like, guys, please try and keep it.
I love AppSumo.
But out of the AppSumo thing, you buy X. Let's say you buy 10 tools. How many of them do you actually fucking check out? Like 1?
Well, I'm odd though. Like I'll buy a bunch and try them out, and if I don't like it, I redeem. I go right back because they'll refund anything. So if I try it and I don't like it, I get rid of it immediately. So right now I have 2. There's 2 that I have consistently. Oh, 3. I have Lead Scrape, I have Postly, and I have this thing called Wisecut, which is super sweet. Yeah, that's it, man. Everything else I've bought in probably 40 products. I'll freaking get rid of them, man. If it doesn't do exactly what I want or it sucks, you're out of here. Yeah, man, I need that. I need that $23 back.
Yeah.
That's a pizza for me and little Chris.
Joe Marichich, his tool shelf is full. Even today, not deliberately, but in the mastermind, I ended up, I'm going to buy another tool, AI Content Labs. But yeah, it's fucking relentless, man.
How about that? Speaking of tools, did you see that Human Writer?
Nope.
Yeah, man, I'd check that one out. Maybe it's a good one.
I'll have a look. But anyway, guys, on that note, we are away, and we'll catch you same time next week.
All right. See you next week.